Second Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should gain advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All praise, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shah. Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, to y'all say Shalom, Yeshua, Shalom. All right, we're back with another AI chat. It's the article that I saw, and I thought it was very interesting. It's dated August the 3rd, 2025, which, if I'm correct, that was yesterday. So it says, Sam Altman pitches World ID to bankers as AI threatens traditional identity systems. So let's get into it. A couple things I found interesting here. So it says, at a U.S. Federal Reserve conference, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman promoted his iris scanning digital ID system. All right. And we've talked about this, the iris orb scanner, right? Many times we've spoken about, different, systems, and they have, multiple different things out there for different. I mean, I don't know how to really explain it. I mean, we mentioned the Magic Genie, which is digital necromancy. You've been seeing more articles, probably seeing more articles about the stuff like Minority Report. Like they had the precognition, so they're pre-seeing a crime. Having people meet each other in their dreams. Also trying to make a device where you can actually play back your dreams like a movie, and just it goes on and on. But the main things of all the devices that we look out for are the microchip, according to Revelation 13, 16, 17, and 18, and the brain chip, according to those same scriptures, all right, which is, like Neuralink or Synchron, or somewhere in the lines of this that we're talking about right now. The iris scanning digital ID system, World ID, as essential to combating AI-driven fraud in banking and finance. This is the first thing I thought was very, very interesting how they put that in there. All right. It's essential to combating AI-driven fraud in banking and finance. Hey, he's slick, but he ain't that slick, because we know these are just clever words into saying that eventually we're going to bring the whole CBDC. For those that don't know, CBDC stands for Central Bank. Keywords mean digital currency. No more paper dollars, no matter where you are. Yens, euros, pesos, rubles, American dollars, whatever, right? Everything, every currency on the planet is going digital, right, across the board. Okay. And there will be a way that it interacts nationally as well as internationally. Okay. Um, and your connection to that new world and that new system is the micro chip. And we warn you not to take it, because if you take it, the Lord will delete you. Okay. Whether it be through Jacob's trouble, or you make it all the way through Jacob's trouble to eat a missile at the end. All right. He will delete you. Altman warned that AI has already rendered voice, face, and other biometric authentication methods ineffective, urging immediate adoption of new identity technologies. You see, and who are these people to make up, their minds, and make up thoughts and ideas of this is this and this is that and this ain't this and this ain't that. All right, but it's the wicked controlling the earth, which is not guys like this. They're lower level. It's really those banker families, but they're all in line with their bankers. You know, you know, uh, their whole enterprise developed by Altman's company, Tools for Humanity. World ID verifies users via iris scan. There it is right there, and stores their identity data using blockchain. Light it up, light it up, light it up. Because we talked about blockchain tons of times before. All right. And we always use the same example. So you, as let's say you, well, let's say friend A, friend B, friend C go to a bar. Friend B, friend C realize, hey, my paycheck hasn't hit my account yet. So friend A is like, it's cool. I got paid, yesterday or earlier today. I'll cover it. Just pay me back. All right, bet. And they go have drinks. Come the next day, friend B, friend C, their checks hit, their money comes in. So they owe, I don't know, just randomly 20 bucks, 50 bucks or whatever, right? So friend B sends 50 bucks to friend A. A block is created. The only ones that have access to that information, that transaction, is friend A and friend B. Friend C sends friend A the money that he owes friend A. Another block is created between friend C now and friend A. So the first block was between friend B and friend A. They're the only ones who have access to that transaction. Now a new block is created between friend C and friend A, and they're the only ones that have access to that transaction. Okay, so let's say a week or two later, all right, friend C and friend B go out and have drinks together. So friend C offered, you know, to bring friend B out. Okay, friend B was like, "Oh man, that's nice of you. I'll pay you back." "Oh, you don't have to pay me back." "Well, yeah, I got to give you something." "Well, just pay me back half." So friend C, all right, gets, let's say, $10 from friend B. There's a block created. The only ones that have access to that transaction is friend B and friend C. Okay, so you get how blockchains work, and every time friend C and B, or friend B and A, or A and C, whatever, makes a transaction between one another, a block is created. That's why it's called a block chain, because it just keeps going, and they'll tell you that no one has access to it. But, well, there's always a fail-safe program with ESOS technology and computer stuff. So who oversees the program? Because somebody made it and somebody controls it. All right, nobody's just using blockchain, and nobody's controlling blockchain. See, so they'll blind you with blockchain technology, but there's always someone above you watching and looking into it, who has access to all your transactions. It's no different from when you have money in the bank. Okay, nobody looks into your account, but if you have a problem with your account, you're going to call someone up on the phone, or whatever the case may be, or you go to the bank, and what's going to happen? They're going to pull up your account, which means they have access to your account. Okay, so it's no different, man. We're just talking about a higher level of things. So it says, aiming to distinguish real humans from AI bots online. So this is what they're saying. We want to distinguish humans from AI. The project has faced international regulatory pushback over surveillance risks, data retention, lack of transparency, and potential erosion of individual autonomy. When asked about AI making decisions misaligned with societal norms, Altman deflected, heightening skepticism about the safety and accountability of his digital identity vision. So, he's basically just all talk, man. He's just trying to trick the people. OpenAI CEO, and there's a video below, but we'll play at the end because it's only like less than a couple minutes long, and I got my headset in, so I'm gonna turn my headset off at the end because you're not gonna be able to hear it play anyways. So OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is now taking his controversial iris scanning identity project directly to financial sector, framing his World ID system as a necessary bulwark against a coming crisis of AI-driven fraud. So you see what they're doing? They always got to cook something up. All right, it has to be a rhyme and a reason. So AI, a coming crisis of AI-driven fraud. All right, so the AI we've created is just going to go rogue, and we're not be able to tell this and that. We're not going to be able to tell who's real, who's fake, what's robot, what's so on and so forth. Right? Speaking at a U.S. Federal Reserve conference. Why here? Why here? Why at a U.S. Federal Reserve conference? It's because of what I just mentioned earlier. CBDC, central bank digital currency, because that's where the world is going to. Okay. U.S. Federal Reserve Conference on Banking Regulation on July 22nd. Altman warned that artificial intelligence has already rendered most existing authentication methods obsolete, and the financial industry is dangerously unprepared, which is bullcrap. Who you think made the systems in the first place? All right, all these levels of access, or verification, all this kind of stuff. You guys made the system, and it's just everything's step to eventually get to their pinnacle, which is the whole digital system and the CBDC along with it. Um, yeah, AI has fully defeated most of the ways that people authenticate. All of these fancy take a selfie, wave, or do your voice, or what. See, this is what we just mentioned, right? Or do your voice or whatever. Altman said, "I am very nervous that we have a significant impending fraud crisis." Altman then proposed World ID, a biometric identity platform that verifies users by scanning their irises and then stores that verification using blockchain infrastructure. See, you see how they kind of rub your leg while they say these things. All it is a collection of your data. It's just another lesser way of collecting your data and identifying you and saying, "Oh, it's about fraud." Okay, we just want to make sure you're real. All these fraudsters out here, these hackers and stuff like that. We just make sure you're real. You see, it's all a game with these people, and the average person eats it up blindly. Okay. I am very nervous that we have a significant impending fraud crisis. Altman then proposed the World ID, a biometric identity platform that verifies users by scanning their irises and then stores their verification using blockchain infrastructure developed by Tools for Humanity. Tools for Humanity, right? Of all things, it's called. A company Altman co-founded. The system has been marketed as a solution to a fundamental problem created by AI itself. Telling humans apart from machines in a digital world increasingly shaped by synthetic media and impersonation. Right? He then emphasized in front of central bankers and financial regulators the urgency of adopting new tools to stem fraud in global financial systems. A thing that terrifies me is apparently there are some financial institutions that will accept the voice print as authentication. That is a crazy thing to still be doing. Like AI has fully defeated that, Altman said. Oh man, these people are funny, man. You can't help but laugh, man. Altman's remarks laid out a bright. The only thing I can keep thinking of is our robot. I'm gonna end up putting that movie on when I fall asleep tonight. Altman's remarks laid out was a good movie back in the days though. Altman's remarks laid out a broader worldview in which AI is both unstoppable and dangerous. But who created it, man? And you people are still moving forward. All right, you're not even fully capable of what AI can do, but yeah, you're trying to make it super genius. You're trying to make it smarter than the smartest human on the planet. Okay, so these people are cuckoo. And I'm not saying him in particular, but he's just a part of the bigger, I don't know how to call it, the bigger whole of things, right? Um, Capable of breaking security systems faster than institutions can react. At the same time, he painted an enthusiastic vision of a future in which artificial intelligence becomes the most transformative force since the internet, predicting a world of intelligence too cheap to meter and hinting at eventual progress toward fully functional humanoid robots. They trying to do that now. Hmm. Click that real quick. Just to click it. It's like stepping outside. WorldCoin aims to install 7,500 orbs across the U.S. by 2025, partnering with the Razor stores, cafes, and campuses. Over 12 million users have already been scanned globally. Critics warn of mass surveillance risks given Altman's open AI ties. Countries like Spain, India, and France have temporarily banned or restricted the orbs over data privacy violations. Yeah, I bet. Pretty much more of the same information here. You can also read this article if you want to. We're going to push new digital IDs that will probably be adopted worldwide. Ain't no probably in it. There's no probably in it, man. Because the ultimate goal is the micro-C hit. All right. That's what I like about these, because there's always more articles you can go into. Some of them be old, some of them be just whack, but some of them be hitting the money. Let's go back for now. So it says critics warn of surveillance, data retention, and invasive identity practices. Yeah, look, data retention, right? Altman's proposal was met with deep skepticism, citing concerns over biometric surveillance, data retention, and the normalization of invasive identity practices. The idea of tethering one's digital identity to a biometric scan raises major questions about surveillance, data retention, and individual autonomy. But these are all the same things that we're hearing about now. They got the iris orb scanner. They're talking about digital identification. You got to talk about the wearables, all right? And ultimately, all these things are to desensitize you into what's going to come next, which is the microchip that they want to implant in your hand, where everything that they need to know about you, all your history, your medical Everything, your location, whatever you think of is going to be accessible through that shit that they want to put inside you. And that is where Esau comes in, where he's trying to make himself to be God, man. Right? That's their ultimate goal. That's their enterprise, right? Their new world order, right? Establishing that microchip throughout the planet. The idea of tethering one's digital identity to a biometric scan raises major questions about surveillance, data retention, and individual autonomy. Despite the privacy promises, regulators across several countries have already challenged the project on issues related to consent and disclosure, and in some cases, issued suspension orders. Claiming that during the question and answer, one participant even asked how Altman would respond to fears that AI could begin making decisions or drawing conclusions that conflict with societal norms or democratic values. It was the one situation with they threatened to cut it off or something like that, and the AI thing, the computer thing, threatened to frame the guy or something like that. uh, Not saying that's what they was talking about. It's just a similar situation. Um, what I leave at? Yeah, after spending more than 30 minutes praising the revolutionary potential of AI, Altman deflected. This is deeply outside my area of expertise, he replied. The reluctance to address its societal risk only deepens the ease surrounding his vision for a digital identity. Right? And that's pretty much the end of that particular article here. Coin is here. Just get your eyes scanned by the orb, and your new world ID will be issued to you. Okay? And see, the orb is a big, huge ball that you stare into, and it just kind of scans your iris. The wearables, all right? It's like a wristwatch type deal. But eventually, they want the chip inside of you. You don't have to worry about, it breaking, falling it off, you taking it off. You don't have to worry about it, whatever the case may be. Whatever you can think about that where it might mess up because it's going to be inside your body. The problem with that, as a matter of fact, let's get it real quick. I'm gonna show you the problem with that. Okay, because people take this technology for a joke. They take the prophets for a joke. What we're saying, right? Beginning with the apostles on down. Revelation 16:1. It says, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, "Go your ways, and pour out the vows of wrath upon, the wrath of God upon the earth." And the first went out and poured his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. Right? Because when you go to chapter 13 and get verse 18, it mentions his number, which is 666. That 666 will be embedded in what is called a universal body code, UPC. Right? It's 666, and that's the number of the man, the Esau Edom, the bankers. That's their number. That's going to be in, their microchip. All right. And also, the brain chips, or that Neuralink and Synchron and people like that are working on, right? To try to give people these what's called in scriptures lying signs and wonders. If somebody's paralyzed, they can make them walk again. That's the same thing that happens in the New Testament, but it's just on the left hand side, all right? So yeah, they're trying to upload your conscious to a machine. Actually, they're trying to merge man and machine. They call it fusion, all right? But you get the point. So it says a noisome and grievous sore upon the men, right, which had the mark of the beast, all right, those that took this device, all right, whether it be the brain one or the actual number one numeral when it goes into your body, right? And let's get noisome, grievous sore. So we'll get noisome first, of bad nature, excuse me, not as it ought to be, look of motive, thinking, feeling, acting, base, wrong, wicked, troublesome, injurious, pernicious, destructive, baneful. See, all bad things. It says grievous, full of labors, annoyances, hardships. All right, bringing toils, annoyances, perils. All right, same thing, bad nature. In the physical sense, diseased or blind. In the ethical sense, evil, wicked, bad. You see, it's the same thing. When you get sore, it gets to the real deal here. So it says what? A wound, especially a wound producing a discharge, plus a sore and ulcer. Ultimately, what it's talking about, you're going to get cancer, man. Okay? Because people are so wrapped up in money, when money's going digital. And every average person is going to take the digital chip, and what's going to happen? They're going to get cancer. All right, then the Lord's gonna destroy your ass. Okay, if you be hard headed, man. So I constantly warning you, man, to look out for this thing. All right, anybody telling you it ain't what John the Revelator told you it was, and they lying to you, man. And it's here. Like, you can just look around. It don't take no rocket scientist. Okay, I mean, just look around. The technology is here. They're talking about it. They're putting it in your face. But our people are taking it for a joke, man. So bam, there we go. That's all I wanted. Y'all could probably get 13 real quick. Because I mentioned that 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath the understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 603,666. That's Esau's number, all right? It's everywhere. They got a logo, signs, they do hand symbols, hand gestures, and everything, all right? They put it in your face, but people don't see it because they take it for a joke. Jump back up, 16 and 17, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark of the beast of the number of his name. All right, I bet nobody in church can tell you what it is, because if they can, they learn it from the prophets, man. All right, and that word mark goes into the Greek word charagma, and it goes into what we just talked about, all right? Cutting this into your flesh and inserting this device in you, the microchip, because the whole currency is going digital, man. So, just straightforward. More articles are the same. You can look into those if you like to. But I'm going to turn my Bluetooth off and play this video here. And we'll end it there. Alright, so there we go.
The key feature of World App is enabling World ID. According to WorldCoin, World ID is a global digital passport that allows users to prove their identity while preserving their private information through the use of cryptography and zero-knowledge proofs. World ID can establish proof of personhood, meaning to prove that someone is a real, unique human. Proof of personhood could be useful to prevent the spread of misinformation by realistic AI-generated content, as well as limiting Sybil attacks, which are basically online attacks where a single attacker assumes multiple fake identities to gain influence over a network. As World ID gets more adoption, it's meant to be used as a method to sign into websites, mobile apps, and crypto dApps, performing actions such as voting in DAOs or even government elections, as well as receiving aid from NGOs and government programs. As of now, to obtain a verified World ID, users are required to gaze into the infamous orb. The orb will perform an iris scan, and a machine learning algorithm within the orb will ensure that the eyeballs scanned are indeed real human irises and not something else like colored contact lenses or a dog. Then the iris scans will be converted to a hash code, or as WorldCoin calls it, iris hash. As soon as the code is generated, the orb supposedly deletes any images from the scan. Within the orb, the iris hash is encrypted with a private key before being uploaded on-chain and cross-checked with the existing catalog of iris hashes. If the iris hash does not match any records, it will be added to the catalog. When WorldCoin launches, each verified World ID owner will then be eligible to claim their one-time airdrop of WLD tokens.
All right, that was the end of that. As a matter of fact, before we go, do I have? I don't. Let's see if we can go over here and tease AI real quick. Give him a question real quick. Explain to me what iris hash is, if you know, my man, my computer man. We still ticking. Yeah. All right. An iris hash refers to a cryptographic hash generated from an individual's iris scan. Oh, and in that video, you notice how it talked about converting it, all right, to cryptocurrency, right? Hey, whatever leads them to the MOTB, whatever gets them there, It doesn't matter. However they can get the people trapped up, all right, in this illusion of freedom and convenience, they'll take it and they'll use it, serving as a unique digital identifier without storing the original image data. This process is a form of biometric hashing designed to enhance privacy and security in identity verification systems. The core concept of hashing involves converting input data of any length into a fixed length string of characters using a cryptographic algorithm. In the context of an iris hash, the iris scan data is processed through a hash function, resulting in an encrypted digital code. This hash is unique to the input and, crucially, cannot be reversed to reconstruct the original iris image. This irreversibility is a key distinction from traditional biometric templates, which might store an encrypted version of biometric features that could potentially be decoded. The WorldCoin project's Orb is a prominent example of a device that generates an iris hash. The Orb is a high-precision biometric scanner that analyzes an individual's iris in seconds. Instead of storing the personal image data, it creates an encrypted hash that serves as a world ID. And this is the key thing right here that we needed. This world ID is intended to ensure that each person worldwide can only register one account, providing a unique, right? That's the key thing. One account, because it provides you a unique, anonymous, and forgery-proof digital identity. See, they make it sound like, see, you're safe from other people. But what it is, they want you to have one digital identity that they can identify you by so that they themselves can keep track of it, all right? The bankers, that is, all right? Because it's all about the micro C-HIP, that full autonomy over every aspect of your life from a remote location, all right? By presenting you with the micro C-HIP. And it's going to be made mandatory eventually. The process is designed for one-time registration, after which the identity is permanently registered in the network. Applications of iris hashing extend beyond digital identity systems like WorldCoin. Biometric hashing in general is gaining traction in various sectors such as finance, healthcare, national ID systems, and mobile devices. Where, yeah, because you're going to be the walking, talking laptop, cell phone, medical records, whatever else. Everything that you have externally will be internally, all right, in that device inside of you. Okay, so and we want you not to take it. All right, we just read some scriptures. Okay, well, which we didn't get Revelation 14, but it talks about destruction for those that take the devices. Where secure and privacy preserving authentication is critical. Excuse me. The use of hashes and URLs, often referred to as fragment identifiers, is a separate concept where a hash symbol indicates a specific subsection of a document, primarily interpreted by the local web browser and generally not passed to the remote web server. However, this is distinct from the cryptographic hashing of biometric data. The security of iris hashing lies in its one-way nature. Even if a stored hash value is breached, it is practically useless for identity theft because the original biometric data cannot be reverse engineered from the hash. This makes it safer. This makes it a safer way to protect sensitive biometric information, but from who? From others, but not from them, compared to storing raw or easily decryptable biometric templates. All right, so that's what this world identity is about. It's just another step to gearing you towards forcing you to take the microchip or be beheaded. All right, and we know the hopeful elect remnant. There's only two roads for them. They're going to be beheaded for as martyrs for this truth, or they're going to be pilgrims until the Lord returns. And the 2/3 of our people and the rest of the people of the earth, right, they're going to be destroyed because they're either going to take the device and be destroyed, or they might have some that want to rebel and say, hell no, we're not with this, and they're going to be destroyed anyways, right, because they were 2/3 anyways. And as far as the heathens, well, it doesn't really matter about them. Okay, so yeah, that's all it is. All these things are just steps, all right, into the ultimate device, which is the micro C-HIP, and their ultimate form of magic on the left hand side is their brain C-HIPs like Synchron and Neuralink and so on and so forth. All those different things that we mentioned there. So yeah, just a quick article that I want to go into, and Lord willing, you edify by it. So till next time, Shalom.